in Canada, we really haven't seen a successful party or movement for small government. Because if you just put in a few more MLAs or MPs, that hasn't changed. And if you have the same engine, you're going to have the same results in a way. So then the question's like, well, can you adapt this engine? Can you just, what would it take to actually rewire things? Mm-hmm. Or sometimes do you have to start fresh with something that's purpose built with the right checks and balances?
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head with the system itself. You can't add a few clean drops of oil to a drum of dirty oil and expect it to change. And that's just the reality of it. And from time to time, an oil flush is needed. In this particular political context, we have a system where the local MLA's voice has only exercised up to a point of tolerated permission. So you cannot voice your concern beyond what's permitted by the leadership of a caucus or of a party. And so it's a system that really is quite deeply flawed. When you look at other systems around the world, 30 member nations of the Commonwealth have chosen a different system for a reason. We operate in a really wonky Westminster system that's not fully a Westminster system. It's kind of a bridged version of that. And so part of the aspect of the Alberta Republican Party now is we need a system change. We're advocating for independence. We're advocating for separation from Canada. But with that comes an advocacy campaign and a political campaign that would completely revise and rewrite the system with the will of Albertans, because we need checks and balances. But until we get there, the only method of having a check and balance is by forcing a conservative government into a coalition with a conservative party. So that you have two conservative parties working in coalition cooperation to ensure the NDP don't win. But if either conservative party has their hand in the cookie jar, the whole house of cards comes tumbling down. If either conservative party doesn't move forward in a principled way and reduce government, get back on a principled fiscal path, then they lose government. It's a guardrail. It's a safety release, having two conservative parties in a coalition.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. It's something you said earlier reminded me of a couple quotes actually when you were mentioning how it just feels like no matter how conservative these parties campaign, without opposition, they just keep gradually sliding to the center. There's I don't know if you're familiar with either of these guys, but there's I just was hearing a podcast I listened to. They were mentioning this quote. Curtis Yarvin is a conservative political commentator. He has the quote, Cthulhu may swim slowly, but he always swims to the left.
Yeah.
And then there's a man named Robert Conquest. He's was a British historian, novelist. He had a great quote. He said, any organization not explicitly right-wing sooner or later becomes left-wing. The simplest way to explain the behavior of any bureaucratic organization is to assume that it is controlled by a cabal of its enemies.